Welcome back, everyone. Today we've got FTFE versus Kevin. Now, Kevin has been on FTFE's channel a couple times before, and because of this, Kevin actually admitted that he went back to watch the last stream that he was on with Fight and realized that Fight was correct in the point he was trying to make. And Kevin said that he was wrong. He actually admitted that he himself was wrong, which is very big for a Flurf, as you know. But it kind of stops there. Then he just proceeds on the rest of the debate to make claim after claim after claim with no evidence and just lie. And yes, MC Toon was right. You gotta lie to Flurf. So as the debate goes on, you'll see that his actual neighbor, Kevin's neighbor, comes on and talks with FTFE. And Kevin says that his neighbor actually does peer-reviewed research papers. So this is a very credible source. So I'll let you guys take a look and see where this goes and how it ends.
Today, I specifically asked them, because last time we spoke, I started showing evidence of Earth's rotation, and when I asked him to respond to it, he said, well, the Earth doesn't move. He's made a very positive claim. So I specifically asked today for Kevin to bring evidence of the Earth being stationary and gravity not being real. So I'm very much excited, very, very excited, very much looking forward to this because, you know, 600 debates in and that's never been presented before.
I just want to say, last time when I watched the video and when you were giving your example of the car in the roundabout, I looked like a moron and I didn't understand, but I just spaced out. I wasn't listening. And yes, I asked you to repeat and I wasn't listening the second time. And when I watched the video, I said, uh-oh, I spaced out.
So if you take that, if it's sensitive enough, that radar gun, and you point it at the middle of that car, you're going to get the same as what the speedometer says. But if you point it at the outside of that car, you're actually going to get a higher tangential speed reading on that radar than you would get if you pointed it at the middle of the car.
That makes sense actually. But the thing is, the speed that interested us anyway, is the outside speed of the car, that not the speedometer in the car. I don't really care about it. I want the speed of the surface of the ball.
Yeah, okay. And
you understand?
So the tangential speed of the surface of Earth at the equator is about 1,040 miles an hour. You know, that's just a fact. Everything, including the atmosphere, at that point is moving at 1,040 miles an hour. And that brings us to the entire point of this conversation, is evidence for that claim. All right? I can present measurements. I can present experiments and all sorts that show that the Earth is rotating the way that we say it is.
But again, just like last time when I said, "Oh, I won the debate," you just admitted that you can calculate in mile per hour. Anyway,
yeah, a tangential speed is the point. Yeah.
You know.
One sec. The stream just dropped a second. So yeah, of course, everything has a tangential velocity as well as a radial velocity, and they're scary big numbers, but those numbers are verified because we can measure the movement of the Earth. And your specific claim last time was that the Earth doesn't move. So, what evidence can you present to back that up?
Well, that's another thing. The other day, I wasn't prepared. I said, well, it doesn't move. And it sounded moronic, but for someone who understood, and I may say accept the flat Earth model, it's as obvious as that. Well, do you have evidence that it doesn't rotate? It doesn't move. Okay? You go outside and, picture yourself born in a place alone, okay, where you have plenty of food and you never had problems feeding yourself. No one taught you anything. Would you imagine by yourself the heliocentric model? If you say yes, it's a lie. Yeah, of course not. Okay. We all see
the observations that you can make in reality would suggest that we're on a rotating globe.
I was saying if you were born in a place, okay, and no one taught you anything, I believe, okay, if you're honest with yourself and you look at the earth, we all see the earth flat. Okay, we all see it. It's not true that you go and you look at the prairies. Okay, I cross Canada by land, it's prairies all the way. You see that the earth is flat. As a young child, before I was going to school, I remember telling my mom that already told me that the earth was wrong. Telling my mom, "Are you sure, Mom, the earth is wrong? It looks flat." And she tells me the usual narrative, like, "Oh, it's so big, you can't see the curve." But you stop asking questions, like you just it goes in a drawer, in your brain, like it's a known fact. Earth is wrong.
You're just making assumptions. That's not how it works.
And another thing, it was about the star. Even before I was into flat Earth, it was always odd for me, the stars, because they say they're so far away. What's the distance of Polaris from the official narrative? The distance of
Polaris is a long. I'm not sure the exact distance to Polaris. I think it's several thousand light years. I might be wrong.
It's in light years, right?
Yeah, obviously the closest star to us, apart from the sun, is about 4.2 light years away. That's Proxima.
Okay, so that's the thing, and they say, okay, the light we're looking at, it's not happening right now. It's in the past. Correct. Because it takes so much time to, and that's what I thought it was odd, because you look in the sky and the stars are there. And when I got into flat Earth, at some point I decided to buy a P900. Okay, I wanted to make the test over a water, a large body of water, but I never went there. But I did look at the stars and moon and sun. Okay, and you can say I'm out of focus all you want, but when I look at the moon, I can focus pretty much close on it. It's on my screen like that, okay?
Yeah.
And just like I can zoom on the building from the Montreal.
Okay.
The moon is not that far away. There's no way.
It's about 250,000 miles away.
What?
It's about 250,000 miles away, and it's really, really big.
Yeah. Anyway.
You can measure that with radar.
Have you ever zoomed on it?
Yeah, several times with a telescope, actually. In fact, I did better than that. I bounced a laser off of it.
But when you zoom on the stars, Craig, the video we see on YouTube, and people say, "Oh, it's out of focus."
Yeah, it is out of focus. There's several that show it in focus that are fine.
Well, how come I can focus on the moon really detailed and professional zoom, like you can see everything, and when I zoom on the star, I'm
Kevin,
out of focus all of a sudden.
I would fundamentally disagree with your assertion that I would just think it's flat. No, absolutely, I would not. The distance to stars have been confirmed. Parallax measurements are quite easy to do. You can use decent equipment that's not a terrible camera like a P900, maybe a telescope, and actually look at the stars. And they don't look like out of focus discs, right? But none of this is evidence of the Earth being stationary and gravity not being real. Those were two claims that you made very specifically, right? I can show measurements that the Earth is rotating. All right, do you have anything that could be considered evidence beyond your own personal incredulity that could demonstrate the Earth is in fact stationary?
Well, actually, I won't bring anything new. Like, I think everything that's been said, and I won't make a breakthrough and I have the new argument. But the other argument that you hear, and it's the it's instinctive. When you go outside, do you have the feeling that it moves, or you have the feeling that it's the sky that moves? Like, the Big Dipper. Okay, I'm not a star expert, but everyone can spot the Big Dipper. Okay, we always see it, and I believe, okay, I saw it in a meme and I didn't research it if it was real, but it made sense. Like, I believe the Great Dipper is the origin of the swastika.
Excuse me, the fuck did you just say?
What are the stars according to the heliocentric model? Are they all suns? Because
Yes,
that's what I heard.
That's exactly what
Yeah,
they're
all
big
suns
balls of nuclear
with
fusion.
their- Okay. Yeah, okay. With their own solar system, planets and all, moons. Yeah. And they
we've
all
seen
have-
pretty much all
they-
the
they
stars that
all
we've
have
managed
their-
to see have planets orbiting them. Yes.
You don't believe in the Big Bang?
No, I absolutely believe in the Big Bang. I don't really have beliefs. Evidence suggests the Big Bang absolutely happened. I would wager that you don't even know what the Big Bang is, but none of that is relevant to the fact that we can measure the Earth's rotation. One thing you said there. Wait. One thing you said there was that we don't feel the Earth move. We feel the stars move. I definitely don't feel the stars move. And there's no reason we should feel the Earth move because we don't feel, constant acceleration.
I didn't talk about I didn't talk about feeling.
You literally said we feel
about
the Earth, the stars move. Those were your exact words.
No, my neighbor is here to say if you can measure the rotation, okay, in miles per hour. That's what it was about. He's only there for that. And I told him, because he does peer reviews, and yesterday he told me something about the peer review, and I told you in messages that it was gold, and I'd like him to repeat what he says about
all of that's kind of irrelevant. You cannot measure rotation in miles per hour. You measure rotation in a rotational unit. Miles per hour is a linear velocity. That only measures the tangential speed of a certain point on something that is rotating. So you cannot measure the rotation. Like, for instance, if I was to get a ball, I don't have one at hand, and just spin the ball, you could not measure the rotation of the ball that's spinning in miles per hour. You can calculate at any point on that ball a tangential velocity, but it will be different for every point. So you cannot measure rotation in miles per hour. That is a fact. So, for instance, if we were on a, let's just do a thought experiment for a second. If we were on a train that was going in a straight line at 1,000 miles an hour, and it was perfectly smooth, and there was no windows, would you be able to feel that motion?
Not so much, no. Because usually we feel acceleration.
Absolutely, yes. But let's assume that there is no acceleration. It's a completely constant 1,000 miles an hour. There's no up and down. I mean, this doesn't happen, but just a thought experiment.
Probably it would be a smooth walk in the hallway.
Yeah. You wouldn't be able to tell the difference between moving or not moving in that circumstance. Is that right?
No.
Right. Thank you very much. Yeah.
The speed, you get used to it, and you're moving at the same speed than the train.
Yeah.
So there's no reason to feel anything.
And the same would apply if that train was
going
going 10,000 miles an hour, right?
Pardon me?
The same would apply if it was a constant velocity of 10,000 miles an hour. It really wouldn't matter until we maybe got to relativistic speeds, but that's a separate conversation.
You need to accelerate or decelerate.
Yeah, you would only feel the change in that. So the issue is that
the force.
Yeah, I think the problem is, and I would just like your help with this, because maybe you can explain it to Kevin better in your native French tongue. I think the problem is that Kevin sees the big number of 1,038 miles an hour and associates that with, we should be feeling that massive motion. Whereas that's...
No, I never said that. I've never said that.
No?
Maybe you're taking up other flat earthers, but I've never talked about, you don't feel the motion. I was just talking about, there's a new thing that's going around about you can't say it spins at 1,038, and I still disagree. I still think I'm right, even though you said, you try to
your friend
bring
has literally just explained that you're
on
wrong.
your side, but you still can calculate when you point the radar whether it's the little point. I was saying the grain of salt. I was literally given the example of the grain of salt. Picture the grain of salt. Is it going at a certain speed? Yes, it is. So
okay, but that grain of salt would still have different tangential velocities.
You think you're right. I think I'm right. So
But your
let's
friend
move
has
on.
literally
I
just
still-
explained. Kevin, hold on. Your friend has just literally explained how I'm right.
But Kevin
What?
understands that in the middle of the center, at a teeny point, there's
Yeah.
zero
It
velocity.
doesn't move.
And he understands that at the surface, there is like the 1,000 kilometer for one point object moving around the circle. He
Yes.
understands that.
Then
Yeah.
why does he have such an issue with people saying that, well, it's not that fast, it's just one rotation per day? Because
Craig,
that is how you
I
describe
think
it.
I think you have these two, Craig, with the 1038. You want to get rid of it and make
I don't want to get rid of it. It's a thing. It's a tangential velocity.
0.00694.
I'm not trying to get rid of
before,
anything,
but-
Kevin. I'm saying that the Earth doesn't spin at 1,038 miles an hour. The Earth spins at 0.000694
Craig,
RPM.
We'll
That's
continue,
it.
We'll continue after, okay? Because my neighbor didn't want to stay long time. and I'd
Well,
like him to
can I just say thank you very much to your neighbor? I very much appreciate you coming on. This comes down to, I think we both agree that at a certain point we can calculate a tangential velocity, but that's not how fast the Earth spins. Do you agree with that?
I agree, yeah. I always agree with that. That was
Right,
my
okay.
point.
Well, let's move forward from there then, all right? All right, let's stop going round in
I
circles.
just want to finish with, if you take, okay, someone, like if I take my mom that's not into flat Earth and round Earth, okay? And I tell her, hey, Mom, the Earth rotates at 0.0006994 RPM. What? She doesn't have a clue, okay?
Okay, that doesn't matter if she doesn't have a clue, though.
It rotates at 1,038 miles per hour. You're making a big deal out of it. Everybody understands.
But it's
That's
wrong.
why I'm saying.
But it's just,
your only goal.
it's just wrong,
Your only
though.
goal is to get rid of the number, the figure 1,038. That's my
Again,
opinion.
it's not.
And-
It's not my goal to get rid of that number. But when you're talking about what we feel on Earth, that number is irrelevant, right? This comes down to the fact that it's either the Earth rotates or it doesn't.
When we say, oh, it's been at 1,038, we don't need to say at the equator because we know it's at the equator. If it's someone that's
Kevin,
not used
we've
to-
just gone through all this. We've just gone through this. The Earth doesn't spin at 1,038 miles an hour. That's tangential. As your neighbor just said, the Earth spins at 15 degrees per hour, 0.0000694 RPM, all right? That's how fast it spins, right? So we've covered that. We don't need to go around in circles. On you
I was
go.
watching a light conspiracy of Jar Jar Binks, and back then the flat Earth movies weren't banned on Facebook, on YouTube. So
Still not, but yeah.
I got into flat Earth, and I was told before, oh, I'm sure you believe the Earth is flat. I was like, well, I don't believe the Earth is flat. But when I watch the movie, you know, the Globers say, oh, you watch YouTube. Well, we're on YouTube right now. YouTube, it's the website, okay? It's the content that's important. Oh, there's a lot of bullshit on YouTube. But
Mainly by flat
the
earthers.
flat
yeah.
Earth video, I noticed that in the two, there's two movie. The first movie I watched that the narrator was saying, don't believe what I say. Do your research. Verify what I say. And since then, well, I saw like hours and hours of movie. I watched them again and again, the ones I like. And since then, that's what I'm saying about feeling when you go out. Okay, you think about the water. Just the water is the simplest example. In a glass, you know, it's a science experiment. You take water in a glass, it's flat. You
No,
can
it's not.
measure it's flat. And
Water in a
No,
glass
it's
is
not.
definitely
No,
not
it's
flat.
gonna
Look at the side. There's a meniscus here. Water in a glass is not
yeah,
flat.
I knew you were gonna say that.
Yeah. So if there's a curved
edge.
edge, it cannot be flat. Simple, right?
Okay, look. Well, the line in the middle, if you take a bathtub or a swimming pool, you're going to say, oh, because there's a little flap at the end, the line in the middle can't
the water
be
will
flat.
the water will form an arc that matches the arc of the curve of the Earth.
Olympic-sized pool. Picture an Olympic-sized pool.
Yeah,
Because
that
of
will
the
that will
little-
have a curve of about 4 or 5
And-
millimeters.
Yeah. To me, it seems more logical, like the model, we all know the model, like Antarctica contains the water. It seems like more natural that the water is there, the water of the ocean, because most of the known Earth is water. So it just lays there, and Antarctica contains the water, as compared to the water sticking to a ball with gravity.
I've been to Antarctica and went through that ice wall to McMurdo Station. And Antarctica is certainly not an ice wall.
Whoa, hold up. You went to Antarctica?
Yeah, my boat did.
Because
my T-boat.
That's just adding to the list of accomplishment, and we'll go.
Oh yeah, this is you being incredulous about someone being successful in life, isn't it? Anyway, I'll unmute you in 2 seconds. This entire conversation is about evidence of the Earth not rotating. You knew that was the case, so I'm going to ask you once more. Can you please present evidence that the Earth doesn't rotate as per your claim? Here's something that many flat earthers don't really understand, is that all of the stars you can see in the night sky are relatively close to us compared to the size of the galaxy, and moving around the center of the galaxy with us. Like 2 cars moving along a motorway at the same speed. They're going to be able to see each other. Those stars are moving around the galaxy with us. However, they do change position. Okay,
Craig, that theory would work. Okay, the 2 cars, I agree. You have the impression that the other car doesn't move. But now, what we've been told, and you agree with, is every star is a sun with its own path. But the
path is around the center of the galaxy.
But with all the paths, the star would go away apart. They wouldn't be.
No, they wouldn't, because they're moving in the same direction as us.
So, according to the heliocentric model, every star is a sun with its own path. And our star is the sun. So all the movement that we've been told, the Earth spins on its axis, rotates around the sun, and the sun is still in dispute. You said we don't know if the sun rotates around the great attractor. Maybe. And
the sun rotates around the galaxy, and the galaxy might be pulled towards the great attractor. So, get it right.
The center of the galaxy, which is the great attractor, right?
No, the center of the galaxy is not the great attractor. The center of the galaxy is a supermassive black hole called Sagittarius A.
Okay, so you're saying the great attractor is not the center of the galaxy?
No, it's not. I don't know where you got that from.
Okay, maybe.
The great attractor is what is hypothesized to be pulling our entire local group of galaxies towards a large congregation of galaxies a bit further away.
Okay, I'll have to look it up, but I thought it was the great, but that's not the point. Okay?
No, you didn't think.
So all those movements, and let's not forget the spin on their axis, everything spins, and the rotation, and all that shooting from a big bang. Don't reply right away. Don't reply now. Reply next week about that and think about it.
Is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
That describes what you just said perfectly. Yeah. So everything you've just said was dumb as fuck. So again, what you are saying, all of the stars that we see doing what they do, matches what the heliocentric model says. What you are doing now is called personal incredulity. I asked for evidence that the Earth doesn't rotate. I can present measurements that it does. Empirical, repeatable, scientific measurements that the Earth rotates how much we say it does. You say the Earth doesn't rotate. Yeah, so Earth says, you say the Earth doesn't rotate, so you need to provide evidence for your claim, because I can provide evidence for my claim. But there's plenty of cameras in space. They are going back in 2025. There's plenty of cameras in space that show the rotation of the Earth.
If they put a rover on Mars, Why they don't put a camera that points on the Earth, on the moon?
They
Is
had
it so
plenty of
difficult?
cameras that were, you know, pretty far away, showing the Earth rotating. Just because
No,
there's not,
I mean,
just
we
because
could
there isn't
have
one
a
on the
cheap
moon doesn't
camera.
mean anything. Here is a camera showing the Earth spinning from space. Ready? Here we go. Let me get
You
it
believe
up
that
full
to be
screen for
true,
you.
eh?
Well, you'd have to show how it's not. This is Himawari 8 showing real-time data. It's in geosynchronous orbit above Australia.
Oh my God, Craig! Seriously?
What? Are you just
believe
going to
that
claim
be
fake?
true?
Are you just going to claim fake with no evidence?
Are you gonna claim real? Or
Yes,
real?
absolutely, because this is real,
my
and
God.
the channel Wade's Underworld has actually demonstrated this is real by comparing the real-time
Yeah.
data with weather patterns in Australia where he lives. In 2017, this exact camera was used to spot a wildfire in Mongolia on the border of China, up in the top left there, which would have
Check out
gone
the
unnoticed.
clouds.
I'm talking, which would have gone unnoticed otherwise, and managed to save an entire village because of it. This is what most of
my God.
this side of the Earth uses as main data for weather patterns and
No,
stuff.
put
So
it back. Put it back. The more I look at it, the more I think it's fake. Look, okay.
what
This is
evidence
the
do you
Earth,
have that
this
it's
is the
fake?
map. Listen to me, okay? Look at it when I'm talking, okay?
Yeah, I am
You
looking.
see
What
the
evidence?
line?
Tell me what evidence
Okay,
you've got that it's
look at
fake.
it and listen.
Tell me
Look
what
at it
evidence
and
you have that
listen,
it's fake.
okay? Look at it and listen. You
I
see
am.
the line, okay? It's what divides day and night, okay?
The Terminator line, yes.
Look at, okay, yeah. Look at the clouds. You
Uh-huh.
think clouds stay a long time like that at the same spot?
Yes.
Look at the clouds.
They're moving very far.
They're
Those
not moving, they're transforming.
Those clouds are
Yeah,
moving
okay.
pretty damn far, exactly as we would expect them to over that amount of
That
time.
has nothing to do with reality.
This
Nothing
is
to do with
actual reality. The clouds are moving the amount we expect them to.
Oh no. Hey, we all look at it and we see that it's fake. If anyone
What evidence
says
do you have that it's fake?
real,
Kevin, present evidence or your claim is dismissed. What evidence do you have that it's
Hey
fake?
man, I keep telling you, look at it.
Yeah,
This
and
is
it
the
matches
line that
real-time
divides
weather
day
data, so it's real.
and night, and look at the cloud. They
Kevin,
stay
are
on the
you-
same spot.
do you have a
They
goldfish
just
memory?
Transform.
Kevin, do you have a goldfish
What?
memory? Do you have a goldfish memory? I've just told you it matches real-time weather data that is observed in reality. So how can it be fake if it matches
Good
what is
for
in
you,
reality?
We don't see that it's fake. Good
Kevin,
for you. It matches.
listen,
we see that it's
listen
fake.
to the words and answer the question. How can it be fake if it matches reality?
Okay, tomorrow I'm gonna spot my P900 on a cloud. Okay, and I'm gonna see if it's transforming like that and just stay at the same spot. Just
Well, they don't stay at the
transforming.
same spot. They travel across the entirety of Australia throughout the day.
Yeah. And that's not what we see on your picture.
Yes, it is. You can literally see the clouds moving across Australia.
They transform, Craig.
Yeah, because clouds do that.
Okay, be a good boy or Santa won't come to see you this year. This is as fake as Santa, man. If you believe it's
So
in
you
Santa,
don't have any
may believe
evidence,
in
so
me.
you're just going to claim fake with no evidence. Brilliant, right? So your claim is now dismissed. Hitchens Razor says
You bring
that
up, man.
Hitchens
You bring
Razor
up the obvious-
Hitchens Razor says that any evidence presented, any claim made without evidence can be dismissed without evidence. Your claim is now dismissed, right? So we're going to go back to you once
my
again,
God.
and we're going to ask you for evidence that the Earth is stationary. I'm going to ask you a very specific question. Can you present me a measurement that says the Earth is stationary?
Well, I can see that it doesn't move according to the
No.
stars.
I asked for a
that
measurement.
rotate.
Very specific thing. Do you have a measurement that the Earth is stationary?
Yeah, measurement is your thing. Measurement is your thing.
You're running away from the question. The question was,
I'm not.
can you... Yes, you are.
I'm
The
not
que-
running away.
Yes, you are.
No,
The question...
no, no,
let me ask the question
no,
again.
no,
Let me ask the
no.
question again. Let me ask the question again,
Hey,
Kevin.
man, shut the-
I'm going to
no, no,
ask the
no,
question
no,
once
no,
more,
no,
and we're going to
don't
see if
ask
you
the
run away
question
from
again.
it. I'm
If you ask the
mute.
question again, I'm gone.
Right,
If
so
you ask the
can
question
you
again,
please
I'm
present me
gone.
measure? If you're going to run away, because I asked for
Stop
measurements
that.
of the Earth's
Fuck
rotation.
off.
So you can't present measurement of the Earth's rotation, is what you're saying.
You can't provide the measurement from the Earth's rotation because
No,
it
I
doesn't
can.
rotate.
I'm asking you to
What?
say if you can
No.
provide a measurement of it being stationary. Can you?
No. You can't present measurement of the rotation because
I
it doesn't
presented
rotate.
two
If
today
you
already.
present- if
In
you
fact, no, I
present
presented three. I
something-
presented three measurements of the Earth's rotation so far.
No. You presented a mockumentary made
Genetic fallacy.
Hey, shut the fuck up, man!
No, not until you present
Please,
measurements of the Earth being
man.
stationary.
You didn't present any
I
evidence.
presented three
You
measurements of the
provided-
Earth's rotating.
Shut
Three.
the fuck up.
No,
Shut
three.
the
I
fuck
presented
up.
three measurements of the Earth's
No.
rotation. I presented
Hey,
three.
Okay, you want to keep repeating the same thing and
Yes, until you
interrupting me
answer the
just to
question,
say the
yes.
same thing
Can you
over,
please
over,
provide me
and
with a
over
measurement
again?
of the Earth being
You're a
stationary,
clown.
yes or no?
You're a clown.
Why? Because
Okay,
I've got
shut
measurements and
your
you don't.
fucking mouth. That's the purpose of that movie, Behind the Curve. It's because it's on Netflix. Everybody watch Netflix. Oh,
cares?
Behind the Curve. Oh yeah, it's about that thing flat Earth. And then they see it. Oh, look at the flat earther. They disprove the flat Earth. Ah, ha, 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 ha. And they're not gonna look into it. You understand that? That's what it is. And why did they put Nathan Thompson in it? Nathan Thompson, I don't believe he's a shield. Okay, I believe he's a real flat earther.
Oh, he's dumb as
why did
fuck.
he put-
So back to the
No, no, no.
rotation of the Earth.
You're not getting out, and it's the problem of your room.
I know I'm out quite a lot. Again,
they're all
your
computer-
incredulity about my life is irrelevant to this conversation.
No. Hey, no, your room, I was saying, your chat room, okay? They're all computer nerds on their computer, not going out, not seeing.
They're just watching YouTube right now, mate. Everyone in the world watches
When they
YouTube.
go out, they don't.
I just want to point out that none of this is evidence that the Earth is flat.
This fat guy never shut up.
Oh,
Okay?
because you are
And
not
when you
answering any
realize-
of the questions.
When you realize that the Earth is flat, okay, you
It's
the
not.
expression,
It's been measured.
once you go flat, you never go back. Then you're gonna tell me,
Incorrect.
oh, you did this flat earther that came back. Yeah, I knew
Yeah,
it.
I've got an
That's
entire playlist on my channel of ex-flat earthers.
I just can't never finish a point with you. Never. I can't.
Well, you
Like,
say
I
if you say
thought-
something
you
false, I'm going
interrupt.
to correct you. So
I'm not saying something false.
yeah,
I'm not
you
saying
just said if you
something
go
false
flat, you
because
never
I
go
did-
back. But I've got
I
an
did
entire.
realize-
Kevin, hold on.
No,
Let me
no,
respond.
no.
Let me respond.
No,
Let
no,
me
no,
respond.
no, 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 no.
Let me
Okay,
respond.
absolument.
Let me respond. Are you going to rage quit? Are you going?